everyone, I hope y'all are having a great day so far. Welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, my name is Katie. If you're not new, I hope you noticed a little bit something different. I've added some fall touches, which was in my vlog video, how I did it and everything. I've added a few fall touches, and as I said in one of my videos, as soon as I hit 100 subscribers, I said I was gonna buy lights. I've got a whole lighting situation going on right now. I hope that y'all like it. I hope that this is more of a professional look. I'll definitely be getting a microphone soon. So yes, I hope that you enjoy the quality of my videos getting a little bit better. I do want to say one more time that thank you. I'm so excited that I hit 100 subscribers. Everyone's been so nice so far, so I'm really excited. Today's video is going to be my dark romance favorites slash recommendations video today. These are definitely some dark ones. They deal with some pretty heavy topics. If that's not something you're interested in, these recommendations definitely won't be for you. But I have a few other recommendation videos, so I hope that you can find something you like from there. Anyway, let's get to it. Oh, I want to say this first to kind of preface this. I know I talk a lot in the beginning. I'm sorry. So I want to just preface this by saying that, of course, like all my Mafia ones are pretty dark. I put in one more Mafia one that I forgot to put in my Mafia romance recommendations, but I also think that this one's really good. It is dark, so these are definitely gonna be more dark anti-heroes. Now, the hero of the books are definitely questionable, make questionable choices, but I do think that there's a lot more heroes who make more questionable choices than in these. I would say these are dark, but probably like more dark light. Honestly, the topics are dark, but for the most part, all the heroes are pretty good guys deep down. I think some make more terrible choices than others, but I think that for the most part, these heroes actually have great intentions. They just have different backgrounds. So I think that that's something where you can relate to. If you want something a little bit more gritty, darker, but you also don't want to like be reading about, I don't even know, I can't even say a captive falling off their captor, then definitely these are the type of books that you're gonna like. That's why I just wanted to preface and say I love dark romances. I really do. These are just some of the ones that I particularly enjoy, that I think are well written. I personally think the authors are really great. The first thing I want to recommend is the author, T.M. Frazier. She writes great dark romances. That is her genre. So these are just the few that I have personally read, but I know she has a lot more dark romances than what the ones I'm going to talk about. It's the Perversion series, or the Perversion trilogy. Whenever I was going back and looking at this, one of them said 300 pages. I was like, I did not feel like it was 300 pages. This one's 238. This is the first one, Perversion. These are pretty short, and they each, all three, end with a cliffhanger. So it's gonna make you like wanting more. These books follow Imogene or Trix and Tristan or Grimm. So their names are Trix and Grimm is what you're gonna hear them by. Tristan and Trix both grew up as orphans and really didn't have that great of upbringing. And they met whenever he was 16 and she was 12. She kind of pulled a little bit of a con on him, and he was half mad, half respected her as well. It kind of did a little bit of both. And so at that point, he actually went to a foster home that was good for him and actually like made him not really a better person, because he's still an anti-hero. He does some pretty bad things, not to the heroine, but to other people. His foster home that he went to is where he met his motorcycle club, his MC. So he is actually like the killer of the MC. That's why they call him Grimm, the murderer. So he is very anti-hero. Now, Trix actually wasn't super lucky, and she went into a more terrible situation, and she continues to be in more of a terrible situation. He always is looking for her, and when he finally finds her, she's just not doing too good. He has to save her so many times. This one is very good. I will tell you, it's very dark. There is going to be trigger warnings of sexual assault. There's a non-consensual sex. She gets in a very bad situation. He has to save her, but he almost doesn't believe her at first. These go by really quick, I'm telling you. It's like a page turner. You gotta just freaking get through it, but they are so good. I definitely recommend this trilogy. Okay, so the next one is also gonna be a T.M. Frazier book as well. The male character is actually from one of her very popular series, King. So King, I believe, is one of her like first series. She's got a lot of different, oh, I just lost the bookmark. She has a lot of different, oh, there's more in here, y'all. She's got a lot of different spin-offs. So this guy is actually, he's a very small part in the King books, but I have just really enjoyed these. This one also went by really quick. Yeah, this is like only like 300 pages. So these go by super quick. So basically it's about Jake and Abby. Abby grew up in a really not so good household, very abusive household. The only person that she really loved was her nan, and that's her grandma. Her grandma passes away and she's 17 and she's trying to stay away from the system. So she ends up going and living in her nan's truck, and his dad, what is it called? His dad's like junkyard. Lord, that was gonna make me crazy. His dad's junkyard that he owns. So he finds her and they just get really close and they're good together. Like, I wouldn't say cute because she has a lot of issues and he really tries to like open her up. There's just some really bad things that end up happening to her, even in the book, non-consensual sex. And there's a point where you're like, oh my gosh, like how are they gonna come back from that? But then it wraps up pretty nicely in my opinions. I definitely recommend this one. And this is actually the first T.M. Fraser book I ever read. Okay, so the next one that I recommend, I read so long ago, but I freaking love it. It's called Killing Sari. So it's about Sari and Victor. So Sari is actually in a really terrible situation because her mom brings her to this drug lord's kind of compound mansion sort of thing. And she is actually a slave there. She's actually his favorite slave and he calls her Princess. Now, I don't remember. I think she's almost about to be put in a sex slavery sort of situation, and that day that it's about to go down, she's about to not be able to go back from her situation, Victor comes, and Victor is a contract killer, mercenary character. Victor is actually coming to meet with the drug lord to get payment and also secure information for his latest kill. So she ends up hiding in the back of Victor's car to get away. So Victor's very much an anti-hero. Like, he's a contract killer. He kills without sort of feeling because he knows most of these people are bad people that are being killed. I believe he doesn't kill just anybody. He kills mainly just the bad people. At first, he's like, I'm not trying to do this. I do not want to be dealing with this girl because she is young. There is a significant age gap in this one, but he decides that he wants to save her because the drug lord is sending people after her to kill her because she knows things and because that was his princess. So Victor ends up saving her. I really love the ending. I like the way it turned out. Not everybody's gonna enjoy the ending because some people just want everything to be just like it's a happy ending, don't get me wrong. I think the ending is cool. It was very unique in my opinion. And then the next books are also very good. It's In the Company of Killers is the series name, but definitely start with Killing Sari. It's very good. I haven't read very many like contract killer romances, but this one specifically, very, very good. And another thing I want to add is that Victor does have some qualms. Like, he doesn't immediately jump in the sack with her, you know? He's really trying to save her. He's really trying to put some distance between them because he knows that she's gone through a lot and also her age. So that is one thing that I did like about Victor. He's an anti-hero, y'all. He does not want to be a good guy, but he is such a good guy. So the next one is one of my favorites, but this one, extremely dark. I remember reading this and being like, my lord. It's called Undeniable. It's an MC romance. You have Deuce and Ava. She is the daughter of the president of an MC and he's her dad's friends. Now there is a significant age gap and everything that happens is whenever she is 18, but there is a significant age gap. So whenever they first meet, she is 5 and he is 23. So clearly nothing happens there, but he notices her because the way she's dressed, the way she acts, like he knows that she comes from that background. Well, they end up meeting again whenever she's older and she wants him to be her first. And of course, he cannot stop himself. But after that, things go so downhill for her. It's so back and forth. Her father ends up making her do some bad things. I'm just saying, it just gets very dark. Non-consensual sex is definitely a trigger warning. Sexual assault is definitely a trigger warning. There is cheating that's a trigger warning if that's something you don't like. I don't know, the chemistry between Ava and Deuce was just so undeniable. Yes, y'all. Undeniable. I really liked it. If you like an MC romance, if you like an age gap, that one's good. The rest of them are also good, but just know this one is dark and it gets dark quick. Next one is a very popular one, I think. And a lot of people have talked about it. They actually, I think she had the last book come out this year. I don't have the first one of this book either. So it's Penelope Douglas in her Devil's Night series. This is Hideaway. The first one is Corrupt. Basically, each one of these series, it start out with the Devil's Night, which is the night before Halloween, and these 4 guys pull pranks on Halloween. I don't believe any of them are too terribly like, you know, bad pranks, but they like to start some hell raising the night before Halloween. I know my throat sounds a little bit weird. I was at my friend's house last night celebrating her birthday, so oh, my throat sounds weird. Anyway, so we find Erica and Michael. So Erica has known these 4 boys and thought that they were just, you know, the bee's knees. And so the night that Devil's Night happens, I think she's very young, they invite her to kind of come along. Well, ends up something terrible happens, and I think all 4 of them get arrested, and 3 of them end up going to jail. So they all have a chip on their shoulder, and they are blaming Erica for this. Michael most specifically, because he didn't end up going to jail. So Michael ends up terrorizing Erica in so many different ways, and it does flash forward to whenever they are adults. Michael's definitely an anti-hero. There's always some sort of misunderstanding in these bully romances. I would consider this a bully romance for like, you know, older ages. Each of the guys have their own book, and this is Kai, this is Hideaway. So I definitely suggest these. I suggest, you know, Penelope Douglas in general. I think she's an awesome writer, and especially like her bully series. Why can I not remember it? They all are kind of in the same town, and I don't know if they're the same universe, but they're the same town. And she's posted on her Facebook how much she loves Northeast, that sort of area, and it's fall time. Y'all, that's my gig right there. I love the Northeast in the fall time. I've never been, but all these movies and books describing it, I gotta go. But yeah, this series is so very good. There's a scene in the first one, which I'm not normally into it. If you've read it, you'll know. I'm not normally into that in books, but yeah, definitely some hot smut in that one. So my last favorite dark romance is Ruthless People, and I touched on it briefly in my last video talking, or maybe it's the video before that, talking about like the Mafia romance list. Now this one I definitely felt like should have gone into my Mafia recommendations, but since all of those are dark, I felt like let's just go ahead and pull this one over to this because it is good. So you have Melody and Liam. So Liam is part of the Irish mob, and Melody is part of the Italian mob. So their fathers bring them together in arranged marriage. One thing I find different about this book versus other arranged marriage Mafia books, because those are not my favorites, I'm not gonna lie to you. I mentioned that in my Mafia video. If you haven't seen that, I'll link it down below. But arranged marriages are not my favorite, but this one is so good because Melody, she is just a freaking badass, y'all. She knows how to do everything that the guys can do. And a lot of times in Mafia books, the women are kept. They're not really taught and trained like the guys are, but she is just as good as the guys. The darkness comes in what they do. They're gonna do typical Mafia stuff within books. Like, I have to say this one more time. I don't know anything about what the Mafia does, okay? In books, I just know. There's typical darkness around that. There is this female character you just wanna... And the ending is very good. There's of course some sad parts, but the ending is good and really leads up to the rest of the series, which is good. So those are my favorites. Those are my recommendations for dark romances. These really just stuck out to me as some that I just think are very memorable, that are just very good in my opinion. I just want to say that dark romances are not for everyone. I think these would consider more like anti-hero romances in most cases. They're not for everyone. I would say, like I said before, there's a lot darker romances out there, and just know that if you're going to be hopping into any of these, not always going to be an easy read. It may kind of grip you right there in the chest. If you watch Friends, you may need to put the book in the freezer. So thank y'all so much for watching. I hope y'all have a great day.